ladies and gentlemen, hockey is back.
Back.
And what I mean by that is I don't mean the Leafs, because they're gonna break my heart again this year, like they do every year, in probably some epic way. But COVID, like we always talk about, is the restrictions are at least lessening on the island.
They say that in October, I'm sorry, I'm fixing my screen. They say in October we'll be living with COVID, which is a whole nother set of rules. So anxious for that to start.
Right. Well, that is allowed. I mean, I don't know what that means, and it sounds like a terrible sitcom. But so Jeju Island hockey, which for those people who don't know, it's actually quite a popular. I'm surprised by how popular this Facebook group is, and relatively popular.
Right.
Relatively popular.
Ebb and flow over the years.
Yeah, and they're back at it again, and they had their first game last
Finally
weekend.
got permission. Yeah. Had their first. Yeah.
Is that what they were waiting for permission?
Well, brother dude, good old Chris, came back to the island and just brought back this massive force of energy that nobody on the island had. And he's been back home in Canada and playing with his son, who's getting older and older. So they've been playing pretty freely in Canada. So he just hit the island and just came back with a force. He was like, we're doing this. He called the rink. He was like, what do we need to do? He got it all taken care of. Lights are on. Everything's ready. First pickup game happened last week. Second pickup game this Saturday.
And it's an impressive rink considering
it's just a freebie. Yeah.
And it's Jeju Island and nobody plays hockey.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of kids play roller hockey.
Now?
No, well, not COVID, but I live right next to the stadium and the rink.
Right.
And constantly there's teams out there doing roller hockey, especially the kids.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I mean, when we got here, we always saw it. When we got here, things were so different. But I'm assuming that rink was actually there then, too, because it's a huge sports complex. Massive.
It seems like it's been a part of that for quite some time now. So, yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
And actually, you posted this. I didn't know about this. Branksome Hall is looking for an operator for the rink, right? Like they're sending out tenders for that.
You know, that rink down in that school has been there since they built that school.
I toured it.
Yeah,
I toured it when the school, before the school was open, for an article.
Exactly.
And it's a beautiful rink.
Beautiful rink.
Right. And the reason why that's kind of exciting is because, like, the plan, at least back then, was that because it's a Toronto school, it's from my hometown, and they are known for hockey. They want them to play hockey, but who are they going to play against?
Nobody. I think maybe people from Seoul, just like the football teams do.
No.
And when I say football for the American listeners, the soccer teams.
Right.
They'll get a couple international schools that'll travel down, but God only knows. But anyways, it's exciting.
So this may be old information, but this is from my interviews I did back then. The plan, like 5 years ago when they opened, was, and in the Canadian spirit, it was to give equipment to the local high school girls at the local high schools.
Oh, so that they could come and practice and play?
So they would have a league to play with on Jeju. So it would be like other high schools on Jeju.
Very, very cool.
Which would be very cool if that actually happens.
And not only that, though, like they, dedicated practice times and stuff like that seems like a lot of organizing, which is, I'm sure, all to be figured out. Very fun, though, hey?
And but also very, like, to have a rink, like, that's so expensive.
I know. Really expensive.
Yeah, to operate and to do, but it's a private school, but it's Jeju's first actual hockey rink.
I wonder how many people can skate at that school. Like, if it's going to be like starting at the basics of like, let's just put the skates on and get out onto the ice and see what happens.
Can you skate?
Yes, but not well. Well, and it's also been how many years now? I think the last time I skated was in Denver, Colorado. They do like these little rinks in wintertime. And that was probably what has that been, like 10 years? Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah,
I just went roller skating in the rink here in the city. That was really hard, like really hard. I forgot how bad it hurts your shins.
I did that recently with Aurora. I took Aurora.
You took it? Oh, I bet she's like a little whiz.
No, she can't. Like, she couldn't figure it out. I just had to carry her. Right.
Well, they have that little
She's still
Old
too young.
person's case. Oh, okay.
She's
She
still
can't do
too
that.
young.
Okay.
The feet just kind of come out from under her.
Well, you're about to go to Canada. Throw her on that ice in the wintertime. See what happens.
We plan to go skating. Hopefully, the lake won't be frozen by then. But because we're going in November
somewhere.
and December. But yeah.
In case anyone's wondering, Aurora is his daughter.
Yeah.
Youngster. We're not just going to go throwing around people and grandmothers.
No, people we don't own.
People that we're not related to. Yeah. We'll just stick to throwing people that we know and love.
So that's cool. And I brought my Jeju Islander jersey out here. This was the very first one ordered, by the way. Very first one ordered.
I have one of those too in my bedroom. If I had known, we could have just been on screen in the heat of the not fall.
Yeah.
And we could have been wearing these.
Sweltering and sweaty buckets.
It's so hot. Dude, Jeju is not in fall. We are not finished with summer. I was on the beach on last Sunday, Monday, I don't even know. Yeah. Sweating.
Our teacher, Ju Young, she's constantly posting about swimming and diving and practicing her snorkeling.
Not swimming right now. The beach was packed too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
anyways.
Well, we have another great episode, as we always do. The quality is always top notch. But we have another song from Yang Jong-won today to use in our Jeju.
Awesome, right?
Yeah, for our Jeju dialect. He's been
really had some good, cool ideas.
Yeah, we've been blessed with his with the access to his calendar for this. So hopefully we can keep it going. But and we'll get to that in a little bit. But our big story for today is something that is going on that broke this morning when I was looking for information. So it's always better when it breaks before the show than after. You have pets, right? You got some cats, some kittens.
I have a cat, and I'm constantly fostering little bastard kittens.
Yeah, why do you do that?
Why do I do that? Because it's a lot of work. I don't know. I have a soft heart. And as much as my cat hates it, she's like a good foster aunt. Like, she really takes care of the kittens and she teaches them social skills. So I don't know. We're a good team, she and I. But I don't know why I do it.
Yeah, I give
them away and my heart breaks all the time.
I know. It's rough. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. What's the news? Because you got me.
I have a dog too. But well, before we get to the part about pets, what do you know about Jeju horses?
Not a whole lot. I do teach a student that her dad is the racetrack dude, and he breeds the racehorses. And I know there's a racetrack on Jeju that's not been open because of COVID.
Have you ever been?
No, I don't. Not to cause controversy, but I am really against horse racing. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really
Oh, this is going to be Let's put a warning here, okay?
Okay.
Let's put a warning here because this may be somewhat triggering.
Okay.
But so Jeju is known for their horses, right? Like, we have these small, tiny horses that are like no more than 117 centimeters. They're the only ones that are allowed to actually run at the racetrack too.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Which is why my student's dad is okay. That makes sense.
Right.
Even more sense. Okay.
And one of the facts that I learned is that Jeju has more than 50% of all horses in Korea.
Oh.
Right. So there's 27,000 horses in Korea, and Jeju has about 15,000 of them.
Jeez. Here?
Yeah, in Jeju, 15,000 horses.
Is that a statistic you got today? Because I'm shocked.
Yeah, that is one I got today. Yeah.
Holy moly.
And so what's been going on is, have you ever had horse meat?
We should just keep going with
my probing questions. I love horse meat. I've had it a couple times. I find it very delicious. Probably it's weird. It's very controversial, especially for people back home. Like, you can go to like an exotic food market.
Sure.
And they'll have like alligator and kangaroo in front of you, but the horse will be kept in the back where you have to ask for it because white people don't like eating horse. It's a thing. But which brings us to what's happening now. So the Jeju government has like this 5-year plan to revolutionize, to like They always have these plans, these 5-year
Exactly
plans.
what I was thinking, Darryl. I was like, why is he bringing up yet another 5-year plan? At this point, I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
The second
Are we gonna?
5-year plan.
All right, hit me. Okay, so they're gonna revolutionize. Okay, I started laughing at that part. Go ahead.
The horse industry on Jeju, right?
Okay.
And to do stuff with it to try to get more, like, for the local people and the economy and diversify.
Okay.
Right? And this is the second 5-year plan they had for horses. The last one wasn't so successful. This one ends in 2023. And
so we got 2 years.
Mhm.
You better get on it.
Part of the plan is to build a factory where they take the retired race horses and turn them into pet food.
Okay. Wow.
This is the plan that was recently announced because they've been working on it. They've had
jobs. Okay.
But I didn't realize how many horses they retire a year. It's like 1,500 horses.
Obscene, which is why I'm against horse racing. Like, if you want to do what you want to do, but people are like, no, it's humane. The people riding them love the horses. They take such good care of them. I'm like, yes, while they're winning. And then when they're not winning, so
even not when they're winning, I would say, right?
Exactly. So wow.
They're going to turn the plan is to make a pet, like a premium pet food factory on Jeju, where they take these 1,500 retired horses a year and like, thank you for entertaining us. Come this way.
Keep entertaining us.
Yeah, but for pets and animals and things like that.
Well, that's not shocking. Everyone out there that's a little bit surprised by this, pet food in general has always had horse meat in it, unless you specifically go and you shop differently or you make your own pet food. So horse meat becoming pet food is not a shocker. It's just the fact that Jeju is like, well, they're creating jobs. I'm going to go with that. That's a very positive spin.
But somebody was like, the pet food industry has grown exponentially in Korea recently, right?
Absolutely, because people are honestly having pets now for the first time in all this time, like dogs are coming inside, not just chained up outside. And
so
but where's this supposed to be going? I'm super curious. Who's lucky neighborhood? That's all bad.
I actually, they didn't mention where it would be. It's because the pet food industry in Korea is like a 5 trillion won business right now, right? So they're like,
well,
they're like, not domestic. That's not domestic,
it's just
right?
import. I know.
And the people who are like have the jindos that are like parked at their farms, they're not going to be feeding they get the scraps from their meals.
Exactly.
These are going to be like the people in Seoul.
Not to be shitty, if they're fed at all. Sorry, I'm so negative about this. Well, I lived right outside a Denver, and then right outside of Denver, it was a big dog meat factory down one of the highways. And so about 2 miles out on a bad day, you'd be driving past, and you start to smell it.
Yeah.
And then you really smell it, and then you could smell it like maybe a kilometer, 2 miles again past it, and it's a smell.
Well, are you familiar with Jeju's history with like horse racing and issues with PETA and all that kind of stuff? Because this story, no, not at all. Okay, so this story,
I didn't know it was controversy.
The reason why it became big was because like there was like 9 local like humane rights, animal rights people that sent a letter saying, okay, don't do this. It's cruel and unusual. And the points they brought up was 1, don't kill the animals. It's abuse, especially after the abuse they came through. And 2, they're injected with some 200 like drugs and hormones as racehorses.
Sure. They're definitely not drug-free animals while they're racing. Yeah.
And some of those drugs are not fit for human consumption, and some of them are connected to illnesses in dogs.
Oh my!
So this is their arguments against it. It was actually it wasn't
well researched, or
overly.
It wasn't like an emotional argument. It was okay.
Yeah, and so, but it's interesting because like the first thing I came in touch with this was in 2019 and 2020 when Jeju and the Korean Horse Race Authority made headlines when PETA did like undercover investigations on Jeju, which is Korea's largest farm, like horse slaughter place. And it was amazing work. They pinpointed horses and they said, that one came from Australia and that one won these races or is related to this horse there because they have markings and things on them.
Sure,
So
of course.
they were identifying the different horses that were slaughtered on Jeju.
Oh my.
And this is disturbing. So everyone take a moment, be warned. 2 people were charged with illegally killing the horses because what they had done was killed the horses in front of each other, which is against the law in Korea.
Oh.
You're not allowed to do that.
Okay. So they put the horse down, but they did it in front of other horses.
Yeah, which is illegal because the horses have feelings and emotions and they're sentient beings.
They can recognize, yeah.
Yeah, so they got fined, I think, the 2 people got fined 5 million won each for the 2 people. Yeah.
I have no... This was just in...
2020?
2020, so just last year.
Yeah, because but these horses had raced in the Kentucky Derby, had raced
being shipped here and then killed, or they're being killed and then shipped? No, sorry, this is really horrible.
Shipped to Jeju here, and then slaughtered at Jeju's horse slaughtering farm. This
is fascinating. Why wouldn't they just kill them in their own country? Okay.
Well, maybe because people will get really upset there if you kill the Kentucky Derby horse.
Because of Western country. Oh.
They're like thoroughbreds that come from and
Jesus.
They're just used here for meat, like at the restaurants and stuff.
Of course. Okay. Wow. That's a lot of okay. Wow.
Is that too much? So much it froze.
So really glad I threw that out there at the beginning. That is very unfortunate.
Yeah. So I'd like to we'll see where this goes. It's just interesting to me that the people who come up with these 5-year plans were like, let's take the horses and turn them into pet food.
I mean, here Jeju is in desperate need for jobs for sure, and to provide local economy. So on one hand, a plan that provides jobs and seems to have a thing. On the other hand, what a job to have. Wow.
I am with you now more than I was before against horse racing. I never really thought about it, right? Yeah. It's just but based on what happened in California last year with all those racehorses dying.
Yep.
And
yep. Well, the horse track has been a long-standing fun activity for the foreigners to go to, because Koreans can't bet, but foreigners can. And then there's a section for foreigners to sit in, and it's been a long-standing activity where everyone will be like, "Let's go to the horse race, this Saturday," and 30 foreigners will go hang out. So, and I've just never. Yeah.
So one place that Koreans can bet, though. Koreans are allowed to gamble there.
Yes, in certain sections. It's real interesting. It's fascinating. It's a business. It's a serious business.
And as a foreigner, I was never allowed to sit with everyone else. You get ushered to this high box room.
Exactly. You foreigners have to stay, which is also, at first I heard people are like, "Oh, we feel so special," and then you're like, "Wait a minute, maybe I'm not special. Maybe we're just being shoved to the side." Yeah.
I only betted Obegwon, 500. I never the most bets
serious
that I made was $1, Cheonan or Ochon. It's not for me. No.
I'm not a huge gambler, but when I go, I enjoy the fun of it, but I very rarely go to a casino or something. But when I do, it's fun. And then the next day I'm like, well, damn, that was a whole waste of tequila money.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially here, since I doubt they give you free alcohol when you play.
In the casinos?
In Korea here, yeah.
Oh, they definitely do. Not during times of COVID, but definitely in casinos still do. You can, yeah.
I've never been to a Korean casino, and
you should go. In one hand, it's weird. On the other hand, it's fun. And having free whiskey and cokes never hurts anyone.
My liver may beg to differ, but...
Cheers.
Cheers. Now it's time for us getting the message from our producer. It's time for us to get going to Jeju Dialect Corner with Ju Young Han.
Heck yeah.
It's come to that time where we all get nestled and quiet and get ready to learn about the wonders, the magic, the majestic words of Jeju Satori with our teacher, Ju Young-han. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
This is my NPR voice. So
It's
Very
why is it so
similar.
dramatic?
Yeah.
It's very, very dramatic
I
entrance.
it's not even. Yeah, I mean, I can do it again. I can do something different.
No, let's keep going.
Okay,
Juju,
so
how are Juju, how you doing?
Um,
You're like,
doing
"Oh,
good. I'm doing good. Yeah, just a little bit exhausted because like I just started working out. But it feels good. Yay!
fit for the winter time. All right, I like it.
what are you doing? Are you doing yoga, trampolining? What?
Wait,
Yeah, I go swimming in the morning.
Uh-huh.
of course.
Yeah, and then I do yoga twice a week, and
Ooh.
and do some cardio twice a week as well. So
You're doing it. You're doing it. All right.
So,
Okay.
how was your exhibition?
it was good actually. Yeah, like a lot of people went there and saw it and said really great things about it.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was a little bit short. I think it was only like less than 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
people were, like asking like why you do it like for a short period of time. Why don't you do it like longer, things like that. So we are thinking about doing it again, not at the same place, but somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Unfortunately, I wanted to come. I tried to come, but I couldn't. I just couldn't make it. I mean, with a kid and stuff, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I really,
Look at that face.
oh, yeah, I know. She's disgruntled with
But
me.
show off the box.
Yeah, that's right here. It's a lovely box. It's great.
It's
Oh,
really
thank
nice.
you.
My daughter really liked it. And she drew all over it. The second I turned around, she drew. I was able to get it off.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Hey, there's a good advertisement. Parents, right there. If your kids want to draw on it, we can clean it right off.
It's a lovely box. I'm so glad I got them. We got 5 of them. One is yours, Alexis.
Whoop, whoop.
And one of them is we are going to give away to our contest winner. Remember, last week, nope, a month ago, 3 weeks ago,
Yes, we don't know.
we had a contest and whoever heard our secret word, which was Jakey Jakey Hapsa, and can email it to us, message us in any way, spell it correctly to be entered into a raffle. And the winner of this box is... Am I going to say it?
Yes.
Kim Da So. Sue? I didn't write down.
I don't know who won the raffle.
What an
though.
anticlimactic. What are you doing right now?
I know. I actually had it. We talked about this beforehand, and I'm like, Kim
thought we were
Yu Da. What am I doing, Kim Yasu? Kim Yu Da, you are
That
the
was so
proud
anticlimactic.
owner of one of these boxes. Thank you so much. For all those who participated, we'll be doing another one. We have another one to give away. We'll figure out what the next contest is.
These are fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really exciting. And so now it's on to our lesson. School us in the ways of
Teach us.
Jeju Satori.
Teach us, master.
So I was thinking like because of the song about like how to say how to call animals in Jeju dialect. I think one of them like you have to know if you are living on Jeju Island, which is 도색이.
Dosegi.
Dosegi. Now, before we get too far, this is the song 동물 이름 노래 하망 노래 놀게, which is
let's play. Yeah. Let's play.
Let's
Singing,
sing. Let's say
singing a song.
놀게 is play.
Yeah.
Let's sing the animal names.
쥐는 쟁이 고양인 고냉이 강아진 강생이 소는 쇠 송아진 송이
awesome, yeah.
Friend.
It's a really cute song, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Mr. Yang. Now, so what is the song about? Explain it to me. Explain to us what the song is before we get to our lesson.
Well, it's not much to explain. It's just like saying, like mice is in Jeju dialect, this one,
Right.
pig is this one, and dog and cats and things
Right.
like that.
So it's not
want me to
about like
say,
economic
in
or
this
social
dialect?
strife
No.
that permeates through Jeju society. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fun. To me, it's like a children's song, and it's a really good practice song if you want to just practice your accent and you want to practice your Jeju saturi. It's a good practice song.
So what is the word again?
It's 도세기.
Segi, yummy.
Dosegi. Now,
Yeah, pig.
do you know anything about the Jeju pig? Because Jejus have their own pigs, right? Like they're black pigs. That's what makes them famous.
Yes.
Even
yes.
though they taste exactly the same as regular
Tastes
pigs.
exactly the same.
But
But let's not run down the market on Jeju black pigs, because that's a
money
pretty penny
maker.
for
A lot of money.
Jeju. Yeah.
yeah, that's a tourist trap. But
So yeah.
what is special about Jeju pigs?
Let me tell you a really funny story.
Yes.
So here's the thing. So like you guys must know famous Jeju, traditional Jeju toilet. Like people go number 1 or number 2 directly into the pig pan, right? And like, whenever you go, pigs run in, under you, and then try to
Be the first one to catch it.
eat whatever you are.
So to paint the picture a little bit better,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little more.
The traditional bathrooms, the traditional bathrooms, first of all, are outside.
Yes.
And they are a ledge that sits up over a pen, the animal pen. And then there's a hole in the floor over the pig pen, and then you do your business there. And then what Juju was saying is the piggy pigs will vie for who's the lucky
always
animal.
run, under you, and try to get whatever you are releasing, right? So one guy was attacked and lost one of his ball. So people always say,
His testes.
guard your balls. you need a stick, to scare away, those pigs.
Oh my God.
So what about the other rest of us humans that do not have our sexual organs on the outside of our body? Do they need a stick, or are they just fine?
Oh, I think they are fine. Yeah. We are safe.
Yeah.
Just like
Other people are,
So if you ever saw a man with a stick in the olden days, you'd be like, he's going to defecate.
the bathroom, he's got the toilet.
I mean, seriously, like I asked my mom about it, how was it? And she said, like, as a child, she was scared. So she always took a stick with her, whenever she went to the toilet.
For children. Imagine in the middle of the night just being like, I have to go to the bathroom. Not only are you going outside in the Jeju dark, especially back then, right? Then you're climbing up these rickety stairs to your toilet, your toilet, and then you're dropping trowel over a bunch of pigs that are coming after you. Well, that is just nightmare-inducing material.
Imagine if you didn't know, though, right? Like, you're a foreigner, you're on Jeju, they're like, the bathroom's out there, it's night, and you just hear coming up underneath you.
Like at night, we had a small, some kind of urine pot inside
like
house. So I think people try not to go, number 2 during the night, I guess, or just go to a garden. Went to garden and did everything.
Jeju has a lot. I don't know if it's Jeju or if it's Korea in general, but Jeju has a lot of myths about poo, and like if you dream about.
Oh, I don't think it's only about Jeju. It's like in general,
or Asia.
Korea.
I mean,
or Asia.
That's
really right. There's a lot.
If you see pigs or if you poop a lot of yeah, shoot, or or if you see, fire, things like that. They are
There's
like,
a lot of it has different meanings in your dreams and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Andrew,
ladies,
okay.
do I need to remind both of you that this is a family show? You guys are over there cursing like sailors. I have to remind everybody. No.
Listen, it's such a funny topic. I did a tour when I first moved here. I went to like one of I don't even know anymore because Jeju's, so changed. But there was this Jeju Village you could go and tour, and they explained exactly where the toilets were. That was the first time I heard that, and I'm like, oh my, okay, that was an experience.
Well, the two things that I've heard is that one, that's why the pigs are black.
Mhm.
That's where it comes from, and two, that's why they're so delicious.
Okay, who's talking about the children's show now?
So, I actually interviewed my father-in-law about defecating
Over pigs?
over the pig stand. I was contacted by somebody who was doing a friend of mine who used to live on the island. He was doing a radio program for NPR, and he was talking about cultures and poop. And so he's like, "Can I talk to you?" And so I talked to him about pooping in Korea, I guess. But I'm like, you know what? I don't do that, right? Like that's not.
That's all.
I'm,
You're like, it's not happening now. Some maybe
ever. It's like it's beside, like it's other people. But I interviewed, so I'm like, you know what? My father-in-law might know about this. So I go and interview him, and he told me this story about when he was young, because this wasn't that long ago that people used these toilets.
No.
Yeah.
Honestly, my landlord still there's outside toilets in mine is the old neighborhood in Korea, in Jeju, sorry, and every single house on my block and the 2 blocks over all have outside toilets. And
I had one when I was a kid.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Not pigs, but just like outside toilet.
So that's just like a reminder for our listeners that this is not so far away. But sorry, Darryl, to cut you off. Go ahead.
No need to apologize. So he was much better at explaining the story to me, but he told me once about like going to like he was a little kid and he was quite scared. He had to go to the bathroom at night, and the thing that happened to him and he had to be worried about was when you go to the bathroom on top of them. What are they going to do? What do dogs do when they get wet?
Oh
no! Is this
So my father-in-law, like a wee one night went to the bathroom and he came back just covered because it was the pigs were like underneath fighting and they
shook it up.
They sprayed and the way my father-in-law tells us so much more, like it's hilarious the way he does it.
Right? Very animated story.
Yeah, and he has so much joy telling it too.
Darryl, is it recorded somewhere just for possible, like for you and your daughter and do you have that recorded?
I think so. Yeah, I might be able to find that because the radio program said they did not want that as part of the.
It's just like, let's have this conversation about a little child being covered in poo. But one thing that just occurred to me, especially you're in such a unique position with the equipment and then you should really start making files, just short clips of all these like stories about Jeju that's directly from your in-laws, man. What a cool thing to pass down to your children and your children's children, you know?
Yeah, give me more work. Thanks, Alexis.
Yes.
Give me more work.
Let's go back to the lesson.
Yeah.
Jeju, so when we're going to a restaurant, can we order it? And by saying that?
Yeah.
Okay.
흑도색이. Yeah. There's you can see a lot of like signs, restaurants named 흑도색이 or
At those tourist restaurants, especially, they're not just black pork, right? They're going to do all kinds of pork. So you would want to specify that you're looking for black pork?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does hukdo mean then? Like hukdoeji, like you see that everywhere in like regular Korean.
흑 is black. So 도색이 or 돼지 is pig. So 흑도색이.
Hook, because I just know like gamansak or
I think it's Chinese origin. Yeah. So
of course.
Hook back is like black and white.
Okay.
Back, yeah.
Oh, thank you for
Dorsegi.
explaining that. I never knew. I knew what like hook. I knew what it meant. I knew it meant black pig, but I wasn't sure where
Sure.
it came from or whatnot.
Where it came
so,
from, yeah.
So dosegi. You said there's
Dosegi?
different ways that people pronounce it too.
Some people say doksegi too.
Oh, with the okay, with the K-ish,
Yeah.
the GK in your
Uh-huh.
throat. Okay. All
Uh-huh.
right.
Dosegi, doksegi. Yeah, same
Dosegi,
thing.
dosegi.
Right, and then gamong, gamong,
Gamong.
doksegi. Gamong is the black one, so it'd be like,
Yeah.
Samchun, Ian Bun, gamong doksegi, 얼마 마심?
Gamong doksegi 2인분 얼마 마심?
I got the numbers in the wrong
Yeah.
place, but
You're still showing off, though. I like it. Good job. Good job, student. You might as well start bringing Jeju an apple every week.
yeah.
Brown noser. Talking about brown nose. Talking about you. Hey.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna try this. I mean, I don't really go to black pig restaurants much.
It's expensive, and once I figured out that it tastes the same, I'm just like, anyways.
What do you?
My Korean friends believe, not all of my Korean friends, but most of my Korean friends do believe that it does have a different taste. What do you think? Well, Juju, you're not a meat eater.
I haven't eaten like for 6 years, so I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know you were a vegetarian. Wow, good for
I'm
you.
going vegan now for now. So
Oh.
Yay!
Ooh.
Taking the next step up. Wow.
I don't know how long I can last though.
Wow. Yeah.
There's going to be a lean surfing machine after the end of this winter.
So can we get you to say them one more time for us, Ji-young?
도색이. 독색이.
Dokseegi.
What about with the black, with the word black?
검은 도색이.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's a lot of fun. Thank you very much for sharing that story with us. And a little potty mouth on both of you.
This is why Juju and I are such good friends.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, so yet another really cool episode with Juju, hey?
Yeah, no, yeah. It was. I'm trying to come up with a pun with poop, but it's not coming to
No
me.
more. We don't need any more poop jokes.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
gonna have
we can
so many poop jokes for you.
so many dad jokes. It's gonna be boring. Yep. Oh, that was one of the funnest episodes. That was just fun. We're really starting to get a rhythm with our online classroom. Hey.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's coming along nicely. Ju-young is fantastic. You know, so I'm really glad.
She's such a good teacher. I'm really enjoying it. She just comes prepared, and she just talks so freely. Yeah.
Not like our other teacher. Bah.
Hey, no, it's just going well. I think we're really finding our rhythm finally with the classes. So it's good. It's yeah, and we also have a really good interview coming up. Hey.
Yes, we do.
Saying hey.
Hey.
I say that. I dread re-listening to our podcasts sometimes because all I hear is all the I'll say something again and again and again, and then the next episode it'll be a whole nother thing that I'll say again and again and again. It's really weird how that works.
It's much better than you don't say so we're fine as long as.
There was a time in my life that I used to say that a lot, like a lot.
Oh,
Did
really?
you see that? I think becoming a teacher has I've had to change my. I don't even know how to say that, like just my style of talking. So
it's interesting. I listened to a podcast a long time ago, and it was a whole hour dedicated to the use of the word "like," and it's not just a filler word. It actually serves a purpose when it's being used, and like there's a grammatical purpose. It's fascinating.
You just said it like there's a grammatical purpose. Yeah. It is. Yeah, I'll have to listen to that sometime. It's really interesting. But
we have a very interview with La Yan-un. La Yan-u, I believe his name. No?
Yanu. I've been saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, La Yanu.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm psyched about it. We're going to be talking about a lot about him, his life, and immigration because he works with the Naomi Center. Is that correct?
Yep, works with refugees, foreign immigrants, and does various works throughout the island.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go to that now.
So, Me, You, and Jeju has a really fun guest tonight. I've been looking forward to this for a couple weeks now. For our long-term listeners and the people that have been on Jeju for a long while now, our guest is Ahmed, but now he goes under the name Yanu. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, I've known Ahmed now, I guess maybe, what do you think, 10 years?
Yeah, it's been 10 years, like from 2012, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the year I met you up in the city, and we've been friends ever since. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me. I love the show.
Oh,
thanks for coming on.
And thanks for being here with us. It's great to have you here. You, for those who don't know, you're also with the Naomi Center, which is helps with the resettlement of refugees and immigrants on the island. Is that correct? Is that a proper way to say it?
Yes. Yeah. Naomi Center used to be before only for international marriage people.
Mm-hmm.
So after the Yemenis people came, they add the new section for refugees, and then they hired me. Then we've been working for all kind of cases connected to the foreigners.
Yeah, it's been a journey to watch that. We'll get into it more later on the podcast, but it's been a pleasure watching. I'm going to say this wrong because Naomi Center. It's been a pleasure watching how they've really opened the doors and have just considerably, generously given to the residents here. So it's going to be a fun show, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so,
but. Go ahead, Darryl, please.
No, I was just going to leave with what you were saying. Your name used to be Ahmed. Is that correct?
Yeah, my birth name is Ahmed. I changed it after I got the Korean nationality. So it's Yanu.
Yanu. And and tell our listeners, what does that mean? Why'd you choose that name? It's a cool story.
Well, I told you my birthday is Ahmed, and the family name is Lababidi. So I took the La, and then the La will be my last Korean name. So it's La Yonu.
Yeah.
The La is of course Jeju La. It's connected to Jeju because I lived here. I got the nationality here, so they connected to Jeju. And the Yon is I think it's the wideness, and the U it's the king or something connected to the king. So yeah, there's places you go and you can pay them money so they can connect the name with your birthday and stuff. So,
yes.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I got the name.
Oh, so you went to a fortune teller?
Yes.
Oh, very fun.
Why not? Why not? He's completely adopted the Jeju ways at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I ask where you from before you came to Jeju?
Well, I was born in Syria, and then I got to Jeju in 2012.
You were quite young then too, Ahmed. How old were you?
Yeah.
You were a baby.
Yeah, I'm 29 now. I'm 28 actually. 29 Korean age. I think I was 18 something.
Yeah. 17, 18, I think the first time I met you. Yeah.
And then I came here, applied for refugee, and then got the humanitarian status, of course. Then lived until now, and then applied for nationality. And then, I got it.
You make it sound so easy, but for our listeners, it was really, really a difficult time for you. I remember constantly you were going before immigration and presenting. And I mean, it was a mess.
It was really long term. I mean, as a Syrian who lives, I'm the only Syrian who is on Jeju. So the immigration always feel always they are watching me. I got harassment by the police.
They used to come here. Yeah, they used to come into the restaurants.
To my workplace. They used to come to my house just to check on me. I mean,
and they would ask other foreigners about you, what we knew about you. I mean, it was a thing because for our listeners, this was well before the Yemeni refugees settled on the island. So really, Yanu was one of the first that started paving the very bumpy path with immigration here. Yeah.
And I had to deal with the immigration, especially for visa stuff. I mean, especially there's no Syrian embassy here in Korea. So my passport expired, and then here they need a passport to give you a visa. But there's no embassy to renew the passport.
Right.
So I had to deal with the immigration many times. I had to like to deal with the police many times. Yeah, and now, yeah, it's got better actually, much better. Yeah, after that like a hard time, I got the dream that I'm gonna become a Korean citizen, and yeah, I keep focused on that, and then thankfully I got it recently.
And you worked really hard for that. We shouldn't diminish. I mean, you studied a lot.
Yeah,
a lot. You studied to be able to have this achievements.
Right. Yeah, I studied too much. I studied like too much history, too much law, too much. Yeah.
Everything. And so how long now have you officially been, what has it been, like a year and a half or more?
Yeah, a year and a half. Yeah,
year and a half,
yeah.
It's exciting. Well, congratulations.
That's a huge. How did you get to Jeju? If you don't.
Well, that's a question I get a lot. I mean,
sure.
Yeah. So at first, when I arrived to Korea to Incheon Airport, my brother was here actually in Korea before me. So I contacted him at that time. Okay, I arrived to Korea. Where should I go? Because I arrived to Korea. I have nobody here, so I had to meet my brother. So I called him. I arrived. So where should I go? And then he said, "I'm in place named Jeju." I didn't know that it's an island actually. So at that time there was a flight. There was a flight. If you remember or not, like from Incheon to Jeju. Right now they stop it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It used to be a direct flight. So, right.
Yeah. So I got the direct flight from Incheon directly to Jeju, and then I meet my brother, stayed with him a while, and then he left Jeju to the mainland, and I just stayed until now.
Wow.
For 10 years.
Yeah.
And you were still the only Syrian on the island.
Yeah. And actually I recently when I got last year when I got the nationality, I sometimes I enter like the immigration website, so they tell you how many nationalities here in Jeju.
Oh, okay.
Before it showed like Syria 1, now it's 0.
Wow. Oh wow. That gave me like goosebumps. That's cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really neat.
Well, so like back in the day, I mean, a lot of people, you definitely became like a little brother to, you were kind of adopted into a bunch of different families per se, and you were like a little brother to a lot of people on the island. Your experience here, has that led to your, so let me just rephrase that. Now you're working with such a cool organization that really just does so much for refugees or immigrants that are in need or, that have some problems. How did you stumble upon this job? Is it because of your history here? What happened that made you take on this, this position?
Yeah, well, it's so when the Yemenis people came, at that time I was like processing with my nationality at the immigration.
Right, so, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm kind of famous inside the immigration, so everyone knows me.
Infamous, yes, right. Especially that time, yeah.
Especially I was the only Syrian here, and now I'm getting nationality, so they really focus a lot. Yes. And that time I was working at the coffee shop as a barista at the coffee shop. Right. So I went to the immigration to renew my visa, and then I saw a bunch of people who speaks Arabic, like a lot of Arabic. I really surprised. So I told the manager there, well, you seem guys like you are struggling with like communication. I could help. I could translate if you want. Then at first I said, no, we don't need. People are coming to translate. And then, okay, if you need, you can call. And then a week later, actually, they called me and then, okay, can you come and translate for us at the immigration? And then I said, okay, yeah, of course. So I went there, like work at the coffee shop, finish, go to the immigration, finish, go to my studying for the nationality because I had to get like the
test.
A test or something. So it was really busy time at that time. So after I finished my study, go home. I mean, like continue with my homework stuff. And then the other day, like every day is same. So one day they told me, can you volunteer at the immigration? And then I say, yeah, why not? Okay, but you volunteer, but not at the immigration. We will take you to somewhere else to volunteer, but the volunteering would be for us, like for the immigration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
So you're like the immigration person at this whole other organization.
Yeah. So if someone volunteer at the immigration, they record everything on you. Like you are volunteer, how many hours, how many points you have.
Yeah.
So for this kind of volunteer, usually at when the immigration, the information, who always people stop at the information, tell you what to do, which visa you should go, which window you should go. But for me, not here. Other way. So they took me to Naomi Center actually.
Okay, so that was your first time.
Yeah. So they took me to Naomi Center to say, okay, these people are like working for the church. They are gonna help us with the Yemenis people. A lot of Yemenis will go there. So please help them. Every day, 3 hours. So I started. Yeah,
that's a volunteer job when they tell you how many hours you have to do it a day. Wow.
Yeah, so don't do more, don't do less, like 3 hours.
Yeah, just
It was like a really short time for this a lot of people, like 400 or 500 people.
Right.
Come to the Naomi Center at that time.
So intense. It was so intense. Well, and I want to note that not only for our listeners, not only was Yanni doing all of this work, but you also were the liaison because the foreigners at one point had stepped in and were arranging our own volunteer and our own thing. So you, not only were you doing all these things separately, but you were also like the translator and one of the main community. There was like 3 of you guys that was like the main translator between the foreigners on the islands and then all the Yemeni refugees. So it was nonstop. People were sending you messages like, at 2 a.m, like, hey, we just need to ask how this pregnant woman is. And you remember? So we were just flooding you. I don't know how you made it through that time period. How intense.
Yeah. Well,
I had no idea you would. Yeah, I had no idea you were doing all that other stuff on top of all the work you were doing with us, the foreigners. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, like it wasn't easy actually to like keep like a lot of numbers. You got a lot of numbers. You don't know whose number for who.
Yep.
Like 500 people knows me, but I cannot remember like who is who.
From that time,
crazy.
Is there one moment or one situation or one person that you helped out that stands out?
Well, there's a like very successful story I'm proud of, like we did, like me and Naomi Center. There's like a kids actually who lost their parents, like they're like really young kids. I mean, they're like first grade now. They lost their mom, and then their dad had to leave Korea for like official stuff. So they had to stay alone. So we took them to the center. We gave them house at the top of the center, like a first floor. And then they are like they completely changed. I mean, they are Korean right now. I mean, they even prefer speaking Korean than Arabic. And I usually don't speak Arabic with them. And then they really study like very hard. They are very good at the school. Their sister
so they've adapted.
Yeah, they got
amazing.
very used to the like life here, and then for my opinion, I mean, the life they are living now, they are more stable than the other Yemenis, like for this short time. And I'm really proud of that, and I'm really happy for them. And for Naomi Center, I mean, this is like a church center, so at first, like for me, I came from a Muslim country. At first, like I was worried, this center will like say something about the religion.
Right.
The good thing that they never say anything. They never force anyone. They not because I'm working with them. I mean, I've been with them for 3 years, and they never say anything about religions. They're really good people, and
it was a blessing to have them involved with the Yemeni, and the amount of work they did was unbelievable. I mean, in the long run, what ended up happening is all the foreigners were taking steps back because it wasn't sustainable that we were helping, and we really dropped it all on the laps of the nun. What is her name?
Christina.
Yes, Christina. So we dropped it all on their laps, and so they really ended up taking care, taking the brunt of the organization. I mean, it's been amazing.
She really worked hard.
What a woman! What a woman!
She really very strong woman. She find houses, she find the jobs. I mean,
everything. Yeah.
I mean, she's still. I mean, she's still foreigner, same as us. I mean,
Yep.
But she can do more work than me.
She's amazing. She just has a heart of gold. And, because I think a lot of the foreigners were, it's funny, not funny. It's interesting that you brought up the religion part, because when Naomi Center had first entered the picture with the Yemenis, really, it was only foreigners that were helping. This is before immigration had stepped in, before the government. And then we were hearing noise and talk about the nun and about this center. And for most of the foreigners here, we were all like, no,
apprehensive about it.
These are Muslim, very apprehensive. These are, Muslim religion. We don't want anything shoved down anybody's throat. We just, and it just ended up working out so well. I mean, because it was a concern that was being talked about, and she's something special. It's a really special place.
Yeah. So after she did all that job, I mean, the immigration got her a very good present. They got her the green card, actually.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome.
She worked very hard, yeah.
She did. So let's talk about the center a little bit. What is the main goal of the center these days?
Well, for these days, yeah. So the center is working for every term, for every term of time. It's depends on how many foreigners they come to the island or what's the situation. But recently, there's no new foreigners come to the coronavirus. No international line. So the main goal right now is to help the people who are still here get stable job, stable house, and then live normal life. That's the main goal right now.
You mentioned before the Yemenis came 3 years ago, that the main job or the main focus of the center was women who married to Korean men. Is that correct?
From mixed families.
Before, yeah.
The words I lost all my vocabulary.
International marriage. International marriage.
Right. So, and that was the main thing before, right? Oh, hey, sweetie.
Hi, Aurora.
I'm busy right now, sweetie. We'll be back in a minute. So that was the issue before, and then the Yemenis came on the island, and then it kind of switched focus. Then after that, how did the center change? How did that all affect what the center did?
Yeah. So as I told you before, only was the manager and the nun work at the center.
Right.
Before Yemenis. So after the Yemenis came, we became 6 people actually at the center right now.
Oh, wow. Right. Okay. And so still 6 people.
Yeah, still we are 6.
Okay.
And the father, the father who is the priest. Yeah, sorry. The father with the father we are 7 now actually.
Oh,
so the priest and the manager and then the nuns, 3 nuns, and then me and other worker, normal workers too.
Okay.
So now everyone has a part for the job. For me, I got the refugee project, everything connected to refugee, it comes to me. For the kids, there's the teacher for the kids. We have 14 kids come to the center, play, study,
the
school. Yeah. There's not only from Yemen, there's from India, there's from Sudan. We used to have from Bangladesh. Yeah. So
it's a true international school.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun, actually. You see the people, many kinds of people speaking Korean, it's really cool.
Yeah. And so your job is to coordinate services for any refugee in Jeju. Okay. How rewarding, how amazing your story from being a refugee yourself to now being able to help others. What an amazing story this is.
I think that's the reason they choose. I mean, I have the experience. I know how these people
emotionally
feel. So,
right.
Yeah.
It's, I'm curious, in your time at the center, have you noticed any changes in immigration needs on Jeju?
Well, the immigration is really they are working with us like very closely. Actually, if we need something, we contact them. They give us all the information, and they get our help for like many times. Like sometimes they don't have place to keep like women's. So they contact us to keep like people for a while before they leave.
To host them,
Yeah. Or like some people who doesn't have a house and they cannot keep them at the immigration because it's not house. Actually, it's like they say like security center or something. It's kind of jail inside.
Yes.
So they ask us to keep like people many times. I mean, for like the opposite side, if we need something from the immigration, we can ask. And they're really helpful recently.
Amazing to hear that. It's nice to hear that anyways, that things have changed. Yeah. And I know Darryl is probably itching to ask you some statistics, right? Aren't you? Darryl's a statistics man.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious. I mean, like because I think a lot of Western foreigners think that they may be the majority on the island, or we are, I would think, at least to us, most visible, very visible to others. So I'm curious, like, who are the immigrants that are on Jeju? How many are there, and where are they from?
Yeah, so before we talk about that, I'm gonna add something about the last question you asked about. So, like I was about to say, it's actually connected to this question. Recently, our center focused about the vaccine actually.
Oh,
yeah,
that would make sense.
Do you know how many unregistered, undocumented foreigners who live in Jeju?
No.
Ooh, okay, let's.
No,
I'm gonna guess it's higher than we think. Yeah,
I'm gonna say. Okay, do you want to? I don't know if I want to guess or play. A game
I think it's probably higher than we think.
Yeah,
it's 12,000.
Wow,
people undocumented.
You think that's it? I was thinking five. I was thinking in the 5,000 range.
I was thinking 25.
25. Jeez, Darryl.
So 12,000 undocumented.
12,000. Yeah. And they all need the vaccine right now.
Of course they do.
So the busiest days, like this day, is about the vaccine. They come to the center. They are afraid to go to the health center to get the vaccine.
Absolutely, they are. Sure.
And the immigration actually promised us that they are not going to do anything.
Right.
But still, they cannot, like, they are afraid still. So they come to the center.
A healthy fear. Yeah.
They give us a bunches of passwords, like a box of passwords. So then Christina take the passport, go to the Puwonso, the health center, register their names, and then she took them by car, vaccinate, take them back. So every day you are doing that right now. So,
that's your main mission right now.
For me, I help her, but she is doing all the job.
That's her thing. That's
center,
like the center's mission. Yeah.
Yeah. Now is the mission is the vaccine every undocumented.
Good for you guys. Good.
Yeah. Good. For documented people, it's like around 21,000 something.
21,000.
Yeah.
And what are the highest country numbers? Like who's the main?
Well, the highest is I think Chinese.
That makes sense.
Chinese, and then Vietnam.
Well, it is really interesting seeing some of the Vietnamese people come over, especially the women. There's a lot more really delicious food on this island since they've started moving here for various reasons. Yeah.
Do you have like a breakdown of like who these people are or how they came here or anything like that, or is it just like
most are marriage, right?
I would assume that many
of them
migrant wives.
I thought migrant wives,
mostly I told you mostly undocumented.
Yes.
And because like married people don't come very much to the center because their wife or their husband, they will do all the job. Yeah, so
right.
they have the support they need, and they have the support from the government. Actually, they have like everything. So mostly undocumented people who come to the office, to the Nomi Center. So recently, like a lot of people from Thailand and from Vietnam, like this is the two most countries who come and for the vaccine right now.
Okay, interesting.
So how many Chinese people are immigrants on the island? Does it say? Do you know?
We have around 9,000.
So they account for almost half of all the documented immigrants on Jeju.
For undocumented, you are asking for undocumented.
For documented. They account for almost half. And then you said the next one was people from Thailand. At how many?
Vietnam.
Vietnam. Sorry.
Yeah, so for Vietnam, it's around 3,500 people.
Wow, that's quite a drop from 9,000.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
There's like, if you go to the immigration website, they upload like every few months, they upload once about like how many nationalities live here. Yeah,
fascinating.
That is really, really interesting because
I have a go ahead.
No, continue. I was just going to make a comment.
No, please, because I'm going to change the subject.
There are a lot of undocumented, like you said, and also documented people from other places that you just don't see because they're not in the cities necessarily. They're doing the farming,
the fisheries.
What are the types of jobs that undocumented people are have on Jeju?
Yeah, so undocumented people are taking like most of the job for like most of the focus at Nomi Center because without these people, Jeju will stop. Actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Like most countries, honestly.
You cannot imagine, how much work they are doing, and they are unseen. I mean, nobody see them.
Sure.
Yeah. What are they doing? I mean, what work are they doing?
Well, mostly fishing, farming, fish farming, like normal farming, like everything that
manual
Korean
labor
people don't want to do.
Yeah,
undocumented people, and they got like really small pay for it. And I hear a lot of sad stories actually, and
I bet.
Yeah, but as I told you, without these people, Jeju will stop. I'm sure.
Yeah, I know 100% of cases of like people in Jungmun living in a tiny house that all of a sudden they just disappear because they are undocumented, but they're also being exploited, right? Like that's the fear of undocumented people is getting exploited at their places of work, which is
because they can't report the abuse, they can't, the overworking, the over hours, the horrible conditions. Every so often, you'll see like the major news report break in Korea about, a death on a farm, and then they'll take the video cameras in and you'll go see the housing, and it's shocking. But this country, much like every other first world country, exploits and uses to the advantage. The
good thing that the immigration don't go and catch these people on purpose without someone if someone report.
Gotcha.
Without report, this is like very good. I think they changed 2 years ago. They stopped go to and catch people without report. Like if someone report, they will go because they had to. Otherwise they don't. Otherwise they don't do anything.
Do you think that started stemming just from the amount of Yemenis that were here, that they had to take a hands-off approach, or?
I'm not sure. I cannot say yes. I don't know what happened. At that time it's like different.
Well, they could loosen up immigration rules, and that would make things a little bit easier. Because that's a big problem on
whole other subject.
You were gonna. We only have a couple minutes left. So what were you going to change the subject to?
Yeah, perfect. This is a perfect ending question. Is the foreigner community was so involved with the Yemenis, and we really came together, raised a lot of money, a lot of goods and clothing and food. These days, if someone wanted to donate, is Naomi Center a place that accepts donations? Is it monetary? Is it clothing? I mean, what can foreigners and Koreans do to help Naomi Center?
Well, for donations, like we got a lot of of donations from the church, like from the people who attend to the church.
Okay. Okay.
Clothes. I mean, I think there is companies who support us with clothes like every winter.
Okay.
For blankets, I mean, we have enough.
Okay.
I mean, like normal donation will be good. I think
monetary would be the best way to sell.
Yeah.
How would people get it to you though if they need if they wanted to?
I mean, there's like an application. You come and write it, and then everything will be automatically. I think I'm not like connected with this stuff,
Sure.
but there's the office manager who is managing everything about it. So.
Yeah, perhaps after this interview, perhaps Yanu, we could find out a way so we can put like a little blurb.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can update us after the interview and give us a link or something that if people were so inclined to offer, we can connect them to that. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah,
and
such a pleasure. This interview has been so great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us.
I wish we had like more time. I mean, there's like many things to talk about actually.
Oh, really?
So many things.
Well,
we'd love to have you back on.
Exactly. We could have you back on again.
Sure.
There's no limit to that. We could thank you, but this has been really interesting, and I'm definitely gonna get those statistic numbers from you so we can do something with them.
Yeah, I can send you some. Yeah.
Perfect.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and meeting with us. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. So yeah. See you on YouTube. I'm gonna go watch myself.
Excellent. Excellent. That's a winning advertisement.
Okay. And that's been another episode of Me, You, and Jeju. Thank you all so much for listening. The support in the last couple months of been doing this has been fantastic, and we hope to have like more contests and more stuff to like show our appreciation in the future. And please, if you haven't already, we'd really love it if you could like subscribe to our channel on Google, Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts can be found, and make sure to check out our Instagram page where we post interesting facts a couple times a week about Jeju and pictures and, keep you updated about what's going on. Now, our music this week and every week is by Jason Lisco, arts by Sarah Hotchkiss, my co-host is Alexis Joy, and I'm Darryl Coote. But finishing off the podcast this week is Jeju musician Yang Jung-won in his song Dolmori Iram Nor-i Hamang Norge, or Let's Play the Animal Game song.